Hour with you.
Woohoo!
This is Heather Ricks.
Hello.
Now you can start telling us what you're doing here.
What we're doing here. Okay, this is the Centro de Sueños or Dream Center. It was started by Candy and Beto, who Candy's still here.
Yep.
And they had a dream. They had a dream to have resources for those who live on the street, for those who have nothing. And so we come here every Saturday morning to we have a service, and then we serve a meal. So the service includes somebody will preach, and we have a time of singing. We take time to pray with them for salvation, for health, for work, those kinds of things. And we take an offering, so it's a pretty much a full church service with them. And then once we're finished with that, then we serve them a meal. The meal is Casa de Esperanza supplies the beans and the rice, and Candy will cook those up. And then we bring another meal, another guiso, another meal of some sort. So a pasta dish or a meat dish of some sort usually, which we'll bring. And and we serve we do it every Saturday morning, and we serve about, well, last week it was 75 people, but usually it runs around 60, 65 people that we serve each week.
Do you still do the haircuts and all of that? 'Cause I remember doing some of those things.
When we have volunteers to do that, yes, definitely. That's bring some. I mean, if we can bring somebody in that knows how to cut hair, that's well received, very well received.
I think Frank did that one time last year, didn't he? Frank from our church, Frank and Gladys.
Could be, yes.
I think
We've had several people that volunteer here and there, and sometimes when the groups come, they plan. Casa de Esperanza brings groups to help and to do a program and that type of thing. Quite often they'll do that on Saturday mornings in the season when the groups are coming in. So otherwise we have, now today I don't think they're here, but we have a group, a pastor and his wife and an assistant pastor or something like that from Empalme that have come in and done some of the singing and preaching and stuff like that for us. But Candy usually schedules someone to preach each week.
So would Candy be the person that whomever would contact if
Candy is a contact person.
Okay.
She's the one that coordinates it. Yeah. So
Now is Beto?
Beto and Candy were the two that started it. Beto fell several years ago.
Yes.
And broke his hip, and I don't think they repaired it quite. They didn't do what they needed to do in the beginning, and now he's pretty much bedridden. So he watches this on YouTube and he prays for us, but Candy's the only one that comes.
Questions?
What time do you guys first come to get set up?
We usually try and arrive here at about 10 to set up, and then the people. Some are here when we arrive, not very many usually, but we usually get going with the actual program at about 10:30, 10:25, something like that. Yeah. And then, like I say, we have a service, and then we're able to serve them a meal. So we used to be over there, on
The old train station platform.
platform. That's
Yeah.
the word
Right.
for the train station.
Yeah.
We moved here in the beginning of the summer because over there is absolutely no shade in the summer.
This is great.
And it gets really hot for everybody, like for us and for anybody that camps. There's just no shade. So we moved over here, and not sure if we'll stay here the winter or if we'll move back there for the winter. But here they'll come and they'll sit on the benches and sit on the rocks and stuff like that, and they usually preach from here and then line up for the meal going that way.
And what else does Heather Ricks do besides this feeding program?
Well, the other thing that I'm involved in weekly is prison ministry. So I go into the ladies' prison and bring a Bible study and usually an activity with that. So it may be maybe we do a craft or bake something or have a game or something like that, but there's usually an activity involved with it. Of the 30 some girls that are in the prison, we've been seeing like from about 7 to 15 of them that will come. It's all optional, so and they changed our schedule so that pretty much all the religious teachers come in on the same day. I don't really like it because it's really hard for them to meet for 2 hours with this person and 2 hours with that person and that sort of thing. So we're looking at ways to kind of adjust that somehow. I don't know, but we have to kind of go with whatever schedule that the prison gives us. I used to go in on Mondays, and they would, and then they would schedule something that they're bringing in a teacher for, and it would cross over on my time anyway. So it's kind of nice to have Tuesdays that are set aside for that. But yeah, we go in and we do a Bible study. We have girls in there that are that have some Christian or some religious background. Some of them know their Bibles a little bit. Others are just learning. We have several girls in the prison who are pretty strong Christians. They've accepted the Lord in the process of everything and have been growing and they're really good leaders. They're good leaders. They do things like they get together. They'll get together to pray in the mornings once they get up. Different things like that. Even so, there's things that are happening even when we're not there, which is always exciting. Always exciting to hear about those kinds of things.
What other religions you said there was some other? What kind of?
I think it's just I think there's 3 Christian groups and there's a Catholic group that goes in. I think that's all. I'm not certain, but yeah, I think that's
all Spanish speaking.
all Spanish speaking.
You speak that well?
Yeah, I get by. It's still not. It's probably not. It's not your most fluent, but
She does well.
But the Spanish works. It works.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a doctorate in Spanish.
They learn to hear the words through the accent.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back to the Saturday morning here, have you seen a bigger change as far as women and men and the ages, younger than older? Have you seen a difference there? Because many years ago when I was doing this work here, it was mostly elderly men, say 50 to whatever.
We see a good variety of people.
Okay.
There's people who come every week. They come every week. They regularly come. Yes, we have people who are older who their pension, whatever that might consist of, if it consists of anything, doesn't complete what they need. So they'll come and have meals here. We have people that are coming or going from the United States. So the people traveling through, maybe wanting to cross into the border or maybe getting kicked out of the United States. But the ones that are in transit. We have people that live on the street, but we also have people who live in some of the colonias here that that aren't very wealthy, that don't have a lot. Once in a while, we'll see workers from around here that show up. So there's a good variety of people that come in. As far as ages go,
What do they need?
You see them?
it might be a little bit younger. It might be, but it is. And women, we see a few women. We don't see a lot actually. And we used to get more children than we do now. A couple one lady that used to come with her children. She got a job and so she's not coming with her kids anymore because she's working and she's not seeing the need to come.
So that's a success.
Pardon me.
That's a set.
Yeah. And she's been one that has been invited by. We represent the staff represent probably 5 churches, 5 different churches. So it's opportunity too to say, oh, you live in this area, you should come to our church, or this area. So yeah, and part of the reason for her was that she was invited to one of our people's churches, and she was saved, and she started finding better work than what she had, and so those are the 2 major things that I do. I'm involved with a ladies group that meets Fridays. So I do a lot of stuff with crafts and art and that kind of thing. So yeah, I will meet with that ladies group. And then I find myself usually being available to help with some of the other missionaries and other ministries that we have in the community as well. So, but yeah, my focus is definitely on the prison and on this ministry here.
You got any other questions for her?
How much help would you need to really have this?
Well, we had 4 people last week, and that was hard. It was very hard. It's always a privilege to welcome people in that will come alongside us. If we'll do your gifting basically. So if you want to come and sing and lead singing, you're welcome to do that. And if you want to come and cut hair, yeah, you're more than welcome to come and do that. They love that.
That was
helping with serving the meal. That's always good. And then sometimes, well, and even if it's English speaking people, there's all sorts of those kinds of things that you can do. And sometimes when we have English speaking people here that will come and serve the meal, that gives the Spanish speakers opportunity to actually mix a little bit more with the people who are coming. So that's
So if you had a basic 8 people to help with your feeding them and your setting up and tearing down and all that goes on, that would be a comfortable number.
Yeah, 8 would probably be about. Yeah. So we've been really fortunate in the last year, I guess, to have more people come. You noticed that Mark and Rebecca are here today, and they're all relatively new to this ministry. They've been here a while now, but before them, there wasn't. Harv comes.
David Long.
David Long's been here longer than I have, and then there's a few people that come just for the winter months that
Sure.
come and join us and help us as well.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heather. You guys got about 15 minutes before we get back in the van if you want to wander around and see what's going on and help out, or got any private questions you're afraid to ask because we're on video. Shutting down the video.